Hello, everybody. This is a voiceover analysis of a Salado Fargo reported match between myself, Sean Lewis, at the time 664 Fargo against Leah Hurst, who has a 492 Fargo. It's going to be a race to 9 ball alternate break. Alright, so Leah had the first break, dry break. Either cut it to the left or just a little bit of maybe left English. We'd cause it to squirt off to the right and then hit thin the rack, and then the spin on the cue ball looked like it had a little bit of left English. So I'm going to play this 1 ball, try to play shape for the 2, kind of between the second and third diamonds ideally, to the right side of the table. So I'm just going to play this with high and a little bit of right, top right English. Pretty good here, so I can either try to punch the ball and go 1 rail up table to play for the 3, or use low left and go 2 rails. I generally like to put a little bit like 2 rails. A little bit more controllable speed, in my opinion. Initially, I was thinking on that 3 ball, I was just going to draw to the right side, and then I decided to try to go back across, and I just put a little bit too much spin for that shot. So I'm just going to play safe here, play behind the cue ball, behind the 5, 6, and the 7. I like kicking 1 rail at it if it's there with spin to kick underneath. If you can get maximum, like kick and stick. Otherwise, 2 rails is good. Trying to kick behind it and then back out. You just want to play your speed to create separation. So this is a little bit soft. I would say a little bit too soft. Got no rail. So I'm going to play follow on this 4 ball. Try to get straight in on the 5. So I can avoid shooting the combo. A little close to the rail. So he's going to follow to the end rail and all the way back for the 7. to kind of leave myself a lot of options. From where the 8 is, you can pretty much get on the 9 however you like. High inside like that, hit it a little bit soft. But coming up short there leaves this shot to the right or to the left corner, which is pretty good, and then just kind of make it work so you get a little bit more acclimated. Alright, scores 1-0. I try to break kind of full, leave the cue ball in the center of the table on this table. It's a pretty good rack if I can manage getting on the 4 and the 6. I'm going to play, I think, low right here and play 2 rails kind of back to the same spot where the cue ball is at versus playing to the short side. This will allow me to go under the 6 and then to the right hand side of the table to cut the 6 and play basically the same shot for the 7. Ended up going over it. But I played the speed. Pretty thin cut here, but I can't hit it hard, so I'm just making sure to be accurate. Trying to judge the amount of spin, how much throws there's going to be. Just trying to stay precise. One thing I try to do when I'm watching myself play is try to be aware of like specific behaviors so I can keep track of when I'm playing better and worse, what kind of habits, visual habits I can use to figure out where I'm at. Alright, it's a little bit too hard on the break there, and the one went down to the end rail. Made a ball. You're going to have to either roll out or play safe. I think she can see the edge. Just try to hit as thin as you can, and ideally go to the left of the 7. Or bank the one kind of towards the side rail by the 8 and just play your cue ball speed. worked out. I'm going to try to kick one rail and make it. I know that if I hit it, it'll send the cue ball down table where the 2 and the 9 are at. So even if I miss it, there's a chance to get safe, and if I make it, maybe I'll end up with a shot. So I'm going to play aggressively. Played the angle wrong, so ball in hand. I think the best shot here is to play short side for the 2, because the 4 is there as well, so you can get straight in on the 2 and then play. That's automatic shape for the 4. Getting there is a little bit tricky. I would generally try to play draw with a little bit of right spin and touch the rail around the 3rd diamond, maybe 3.5 diamonds, a little bit before the side. And then once you've hit that rail at that spot, then pretty much from there you just get better shape. Pretty good. Now you can either draw to the side rail or you can follow. Use a little bit of high and left English so the cue ball goes to the side rail and doesn't freeze you on the rail when you come back up if you shoot the shot with high ball. I like putting left English also. And you can hit it a little bit softer. Looks like a little bit of draw, but then hit it too thin. So I'm just playing a follow shot so that I get the angle. So just use center ball follow. Try to hit the rail around like 1 diamond, a little bit higher than that to get straight in on the 5 ball. But I liked to punch it over, which I didn't, kind of surprised about. Came up short. Makes it a little bit tricky with the 7. Potentially being in the way, but I got away with it. Now the 8 is kind of a similar thing. But I did bump the 8. Missed the shot, it was pretty far away. Here I think you can just play high and left English and go down and back a little ways, back to the same place that you're at right now. Wasn't sure if she was deciding to play safe or cut the shot. Changed her mind and played safe. I'm a little short with the 7. Leave me a shot here. It's pretty far away. And I just gotta play it slow speed. I end up missing it. You can either hit this in with some pace and come one rail, or go forward with high ball and left English. Now this shot you can either use draw with right and hit it really slow to try to play, just hit just above the side pocket with the cue ball, or you can play high ball with left English, high inside, and play it 3 rails around. Good shot. Came up a little too far. Pretty good. A little bit too full or too thin. Alright, score's 3-0. It's my break. Hoping to replicate my last break. Cut the cue ball back to the right side. From my perspective, the break. That's why the cue ball or the 1 ball went so far. Trying to hit a little bit fuller than that. I'm playing the short bank with stop to try to play for the 2 if I make it. And hoping to leave some good distance and maybe having a ball in the way if I miss. I kind of like shooting at this ball just because it's there early in the rack. Safe is good also. I'm just going to kick at this ball. And I'm just mainly focusing on getting good contact, but I'm also trying to work on my rhythm. Trying to get more consistent with everything. Good shot to come out. I could play. I think there's a little bit of an angle here, so follow. maybe a touch of right English to get it to turn off the rail to hit the side rail. Send it up towards the 3. Or if it's a little bit more angle than I can see, then maybe just left English will make it check and not go towards the side rail and come straight back down. Kind of stretched out there. Let's overcut that a little bit. I was actually trying to come between the 6 and the 4. If I'd hit it fuller and made it, it probably would have done that. This is a pretty good opportunity. Yeah, on the 9-foot table, I feel like you're going to want to play with a little bit of a longer swing, a little bit of a longer follow through in general than a bar table. Shoot this in the side. Might use a touch of right English. Here I might hit this, go to the end rail and back up. It's a little bit thin to slow roll it, I think. Here I'm just going to try to bank it and go 2 rails for the 7 ball. Bumped it slightly, so now I'm going to shoot another bank. I've been working on my banking quite a bit. It's starting to pay off. Just trying to see myself make the ball before I get down on the shot, and then just get down with my best process. Score's 4-0. So here I think you play a rollout. Probably just shoot it down to the end rail over by the rack side, leaving a really tough cut on the one into the side pocket, and then the cue ball crashing into the 4. Or you could potentially ideally I'd like to almost get the cue ball down to the end rail where the 6 is at and use the 4 as a blocker. It doesn't look like it's easy to get over there though. Interesting shot. So we're talking about the finer points here. So I'm going to play safe, just shooting the 1 between the 6 and the 8. I think I'm going to try to use the 6 as a blocker, or the 6 to hold the ball, to leave so the 8 could be a bigger ball to hide behind. Either kick to the right or 2 rails. I like kicking to the right because the 7 and the 2 are there to help block and duck behind, since it's likely you won't make the ball. If you kick 2 rails, you're pretty much shooting to have to make the ball. Pretty routine now. I just gotta bear down and one shot at a time. Wanted to get a little bit straighter on that. Yeah, probably used high left and should have just played center ball high. So now I'm playing back and forth. Pretty good shot there. Trying to make sure I stay in control of the table. Taking my time to visualize each shot. A little crazy. Just kind of made that 8 and played the speed to come back around. Assuming that I'd just shoot whatever shot it comes up with and do my best. Alright, scores 5-0. Key shot here is going from the 3 to the 5. So I'll stun this over and back off the rail. I wanted more angle than that. I'll have to play this shot with follow. Should have put some right English on it. Kick one rail underneath, 2 rails underneath. Pretty good speed. You kick just because there's nothing to hide behind. Good shot, good speed. I like this shot. Just cut it to the left and then just low ball. You gotta put a nice stroke so that you don't go too far. See, I got up right there and then I made a mistake here. Just play for these. Stay in the middle of the table. Control the cue ball as best you can. Missed 2 shots into the side so far. Played the bank and I was trying to play one rail position. Came up short. I just gotta use, straight in ball. Just nice smooth stroke. Concentrate on hitting it full. Check your cueing action here. Pretty good. So you want to try to develop a little bit more of a smooth transition from your backswing to your follow through. See, that's super smooth. Trying to come right between the 8 and the 9 here. It's a little tricky. Maybe I should have went forward and played the 8 in the corner. Just trying to look to see if I can make it or if there's a scratch. So I'm going to play safe, looks like. And a lot of these safeties, I just try to create separation, and then since the 9's the only ball on the table, I'm going to try to play the positions to where the 9's in the way. Ugh, barely missed. Unfortunate scratch. Alright, so Leah's break. It was almost really good. Got kissed out of the good break there. Just thinning here, really thin, playing the cue ball back to the other end rail. So I can cut this ball, go one rail, leave the cue ball underneath it, and then go no rails with draw. But I like this shot mostly because then I can go straight in the line, stay on the line of the shot that I want. I'm going to play this ball short side, either for the side or the corner. Just top English there. I'm going to play a little bit of right English, I think, on this shot, so that when it's the rail, it just turns towards the ball instead of going wide. Hit a little bit full. So it came up short. Now the angle is going to be that it bumps into the 9. So I'm going to play to hit the 9 and bounce off it and stay above the 6. Kind of awkward angle here. I was trying to hit as soft as I could and still overruled my position, but I missed. I did overcut it slightly. If I would have played a touch of inside there, I think that would have been the right way. So I played this rail first. Cut a little bit full. Or more speed. Good shot. Same stroke on the 9 here would do it. Let's overcut it. So it's 3 costly mistakes so far for Leah. Pretty good break here. Just got to play the 2 and then bump the 8 on purpose and try to hold it. Anytime you're going to interact or move the balls, you gotta always double make sure that I'm going to make the ball and that I'm playing to bump them with a natural line as much as possible, so I don't deviate from the correct pocket line. Got down a little bit too quick, I think, on that 3 ball. There's a good chance to get out there. Good shot. Now I'll probably just need a little left English to come back to the middle of the table. 1 rail. Good shot. Low left here to come around the 8. A little bit more draw would have done it. This is fine, just gotta make sure you bear down and make the ball. Pretty good on the side. Little came up a little far, but it's okay. Just gotta be ready to take whatever shot's there, regardless of what you thought you were gonna be able to shoot at. Oh, barely. Watch yourself with a thin cut, just a little bit more power on that break. Would have caught that one ball off the rail just enough to make it a little bit easier. That was almost really good. Just a little bit further with the cue ball. A pretty fortunate bump off the 5 on that bank shot. This is going to be a little bit delicate. I got to make sure to play the speed very precisely because I'm going kind of at the corner pocket. I don't want to leave myself too steep or straight in. almost straight in, but I think this is enough angle. Yeah, I just use a big stroke there. And the 9. Again, just making sure that I can see myself making the ball.